very sad.
Day of the Dead.
No, the atmosphere was not sad.
The atmosphere like a party.
Was like a party. The atmosphere was very happy. Was the atmosphere sad or happy?
The atmosphere was happy.
The atmosphere
like
was
a
happy.
party.
The atmosphere was like a party. What was like a party?
The atmosphere like a party.
The atmosphere in the cemetery
was
like a party. Where was the atmosphere like a party?
In cemetery. The atmosphere like
in
a
the
party.
cemetery. Right? The cemetery. The atmosphere was like a party in the cemetery. Was the atmosphere like a party at my house?
No, the atmosphere like a party in cemetery.
Not at my house. The atmosphere was like a party in the cemetery. The atmosphere was not like a party
not like
in
a party
my
in my house.
So the atmosphere was like a party. There were people everywhere.
Oh.
Families were sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors. Where were the families sitting?
The family sitting around the grave.
Around the graves.
Ancestors.
They were sitting around the graves.
Who
was sitting around the graves?
The family sitting around
the families were
grave.
Sitting around the graves. Were they sitting around the trees?
No, they were sitting around the grave.
Around the trees.
On the dead ancestor.
They were sitting around the graves. So, where were they sitting?
They sitting around the grave.
Around the graves.
Dead ancestor.
Families were sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors. Were they sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors?
Yes, they were sitting around
Yes, they were sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors.
Of the dead ancestor.
Were they sitting around the graves of their friends?
No, not really.
No, not really.
The family sitting
they were
around
sitting around the graves
of
their dead ancestors. Who was sitting around the graves?
The family sitting around.
Families were sitting around the graves. Whose graves were they sitting around?
The ancestors.
Whose graves were they sitting around?
The ancestors.
Yes, their dead ancestors.
The dead ancestors.
Their ancestors' graves. They were sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors. Were they sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors?
Yes, they were sitting around the dead ancestors.
Of their friends.
They were sitting around the
ancestors.
Dead.
Right? They were sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors. They cleaned the graves and added fresh flowers. Okay. Who cleaned the graves?
The families cleaned the grave.
What did they add?
They add the fresh flower.
They added
on
fresh
the grave.
flowers. Did they add food?
No, they add
No, they didn't add food.
Flower.
Did they add money?
No, they didn't add money.
They added
fresh flower.
Fresh flowers. did they clean?
They clean the grave.
They cleaned
In
the
cemetery.
graves. Whose graves did they clean?
The families, they clean.
Their ancestors, right?
Oh,
they cleaned
the ancestor.
their ancestors' graves.
Grave.
Where did they add flowers?
They add flowers in
Oh, they
on
added
the grave.
flowers to the
In
graves.
cemetery.
That's right. They cleaned the graves and added fresh flowers. Very good. I walked through the cemetery and admired the beauty of all the colorful flowers.
Ah,
Where did I walk?
I walked through the cemetery.
Through the cemetery. I walked through the cemetery.
Walk through the cemetery.
Did I walk through the park?
No, I walked through the
No,
cemetery.
I didn't walk through the park.
I did walk
I
through
walked
the cemetery.
Through the cemetery. Where did I walk?
I walked through the cemetery.
Through the cemetery. Who walked through the cemetery?
Me, I walked through the cemetery.
I did.
Cemetery.
AJ. I walked through the cemetery. Did I walk through the cemetery or did I walk through the park?
I walked through the cemetery.
I walked
don't
through
walk through the
cemetery.
park.
That's right. And I admired the beauty of
Oh.
all the colorful flowers.
Ah.
Did I admire the beauty of the trees?
No. I admire
No,
the beauty
I didn't
in
admire
the
the
flower.
beauty of the trees.
In the flower.
Did I admire the beauty of the children?
No. I admire the
No,
beauty
I
of the
didn't
flower.
admire the beauty of the children.
No.
What did I admire?
I admire the
The
flower.
flowers, right? Yeah, I
Flower.
admired the beauty of all the colorful flowers.
The gold colorful flower.
Who admired the beauty of all the colorful flowers?
I admire the
That's right.
beauty,
AJ, me,
the flower.
admired the beauty of all the colorful flowers.
Yes.
Where were the flowers?
In the grave
On
on
the
cemetery.
graves, right? Or
In
in
cemetery.
the cemetery. Right? The flowers were on the graves in the cemetery.
In cemetery.
Were the flowers in the park?
No, the flower
No,
is
they weren't
the
in the
on
park.
the grave on
Were
in
the
cemetery.
flowers in my house?
No, the
No, they
flower
weren't in my
is
house.
cemetery.
Where were the flowers?
In on the grave.
The flowers
cemetery.
were on the graves
On the grave
in the cemetery.
in cemetery.
Where did I walk?
I walked through the cemetery.
I walked through the cemetery. When did I walk through the cemetery?
On the day of the dead, November 1st,
November 1st.
I walked through
the
the
day of
cemetery.
dead. Right, November 1st, the day of the dead, I walked through the
The
cemetery.
cemetery.
What was the cemetery like?
Like a party. The cemetery like a party.
It was like a party.
Like
The
a
cemetery
party in
was
cemetery.
like a party. Was I curious about this holiday?
Oh,
Yes, I was
curious about the holiday.
about this holiday. Which holiday was I curious about?
I curious about the holiday, the day of the
The
dead,
day of the dead.
November 1st.
I was curious about the Day of the Dead. So I walked through the cemetery.
Yeah,
There was also color in the sky
yeah.
because many kids were flying kites.
Oh,
Where was the color?
in the sky, The sky in the color in the sky.